Hello, this is Network Cabling Standards Lesson 1. I'm your instructor, Jose Leonardo San Miguel. In this lesson, we're going to focus on being able to identify the characteristics of the network cable used at UTB. We're also going to describe the purposes of selecting the appropriate cable, and we're going to compare the different characteristics of the different network cables. These are some of the characteristics of the network cable that is required to be installed by the University of Texas at Brownsville. All network cables have a standard of sending signals up to 100 meters or 328 feet. We have listed here category 3 cables, which is used for analog connections, but we are no longer using category 3 for any connections. Cat5 cables are for network speeds of up to 100 megabits per second. Category 5E or Cat5 Enhanced is rated for network speeds up to 1000 megabits per second or 1 gigabit per second. Cat6 is rated for network speeds of up to 3 gigabits per second. Category Cat6A or Cat6 Augmented is used for network speeds of up to 10 gigabits per second. This type of cable is normally used on the data centers where higher speeds are required. This type of cable would not normally be installed on a computer lab or faculty's desk because computers, regular desktop computers, are not enhanced to those speeds of 10 gigabits. The network cable requirements for the UTB is that for all new construction building, the required cable is Plenum Cat6 Enhanced. It doesn't matter if the HVAC fire ratings is for non-plenum, the requirement will always be plenum. For existing buildings, if the duct return the HVAC duct return is non-plenum, then the contractor is allowed to use non-plenum cable. If there's a non-duct return HVAC, then the contractor is required to use plenum Cat5e. In any case, plenum cable can be used in non-plenum space. The cable requirements for UTB: all cables must be rated for up to 1 gigabit per second. They must have been tested for up to 400 megahertz. The nominal velocity propagation must be at a minimum of 68% for plenum and 65% for non-plenum. What the nominal velocity propagation means is a comparison of the network speed compared to the speed of light. At UTB, we have 3 acceptable vendors for cable, which is Mohawk, Panduit, and CommScope. If contractors want to use a different cable, they will have to provide the specs and reason why they want to use that cable. Other than that, they will not be allowed to use any other vendor. The requirements for the UTP network cables, as mentioned before, it was 1 gigabit per second, tested up to 400 megahertz. Their minimum nominal velocity propagation must be met. Some of the non-acceptable cables that contractors have tried to use in the past, they're only tested up to 350 megahertz. They're rated up to 100 megabits per second, and then nominal velocity propagation is less than 65%, which at the university level, that is not acceptable. These are some of the items that contractors can use to identify the cable. In this case, this type of cable is stranded, which is not recommended for horizontal cabling. It is mostly for patching from the wall to the computer. In this example, we have a unshielded twisted pair cable. That's what the UTP stands for, used for unshielded. TP is twisted pair. Network cables are not only used for network connectivity for internet access. At the UTV, we use network cables for cable TV, for fire alarm panels, outdoor emergency speakers, emergency phones, data centers. That is one of the reasons why UTV requires a high standard quality cable, because that cable will be used, it has multi-use. In conclusion, before doing any cable installation, the contractor must check that the proper cable is being used. We have gone over the purpose of selecting the best cable. From experience, lower quality cables do not perform well in high quality environments. That is why we stress that high quality cables be used at the University of Texas at Brownsville. Thank you. This concludes lesson 1.